We are back in the year 1982 as we continue our look at the Masters of the Universe toy line by Mattel. Previously, we looked at the hero Man-at-Arms, He-Man's trusted friend and right-hand man. We also looked at the evil Zodak and Eternia's greatest threat, Skeletor. Of the original 8 Series 1 figures, only 2 villains remain, Beastman and Mer-Man. And today, we'll be taking a look at the ocean warlord, Mer-Man, here on KREED'S Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of KREED'S Collection. Today we're checking out the evil ocean warlord Mer-Man from the 1982 Masters of the Universe toy line by Mattel. This disgusting denizen of the deep is one of Skeletor's main allies in the fight against He-Man to gain control of Castle Grayskull and all the powerful secrets locked inside. Mer-Man is the king of the Aquaticons, a species of amphibious humanoid creatures who are far more agile and powerful underwater than they are on land. Mer-Man is an expert mariner, and like Aquaman, uses telepathy to control cold-blooded sea creatures. Sea mammals, however, are unaffected. And now that we know a little more about Mer-Man, let's go ahead and dive in and take a closer look. Mer-Man's head sculpt and color scheme are fantastic. I mean, look at this guy. His visage is nightmare-inducing. His designer, Mark Taylor, stated that he based Mer-Man's design on DC Comics' Swamp Thing. And the more I research this, the more it makes me feel like horror was a big influence on He-Man's villains. I think if Skeletor or Mer-Man jumped out at you and you weren't ready for it, it could be pretty startling. Also, it's amazing to me how different all the Masters figures look, despite recycling the same body parts, and Mer-Man is no exception. He looks extremely unique, especially his body armor, which looks like a combination of fins and coral. Here's a look at the back of the armor. The fastening straps are pretty much identical to He-Man's. Mer-Man is an original release Masters of the Universe figure from '82, so he has the soft head. The later releases had a hard head. Now I'll take a look at Mer-Man's articulation. He's got the rubber bands in his legs that literally make him look like he has frog legs right now. His waist is spring-loaded, and it works a little bit. We'll come back to that. He's got the swivel arms that go up and down, and his head turns left and right. And that is it. That covers all of Mer-Man's articulation. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that spring-loaded waist. All Masters figures have this spring-loaded feature, and it does still work, just not quite as well as it used to. But that's okay, it's still good enough to knock He-Man out. Boom! Now we're going to take a look at Mer-Man's included accessory, his sword, which matches his armor, and once again makes me think of coral. I like that the handle appears to be bone. Little details like this really help to sell that he made it himself. In the mini-comics, it can shoot freezing blasts and even freeze his enemies in blocks of ice. It's never revealed if the sword is ancient Eternian tech or if it's magic. My guess is the latter, since it looks handmade. Stamped on Mer-Man's lower back is his copyright information, Mattel, 1981, made in Taiwan. And now for our He-Man size comparison. Mer-Man and He-Man are pretty much exactly the same size, but right now He-Man doesn't care about that. He's just looking forward to a future review where he can punch out Mer-Man. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy review for Mer-Man from the 1982 toy line Masters of the Universe by Mattel. Mer-Man really captured my imagination as a child. When I got him, I was only familiar with Aquaman, so the idea of a horrific fishman monster was very intriguing. I loved his look, armor, and weapon, and he was then and is now one of my absolute favorite toys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, and if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help my channel grow. I review a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday, so hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.